Ever feel weighed down by shame and guilt? In this video, we'll explore how these feelings can hold you down in your recovery and share powerful strategies to overcome them and focus on your personal growth. But before sharing all of that, who am I? My name is Wesley, and my big mission right now is to help prevent 1,000 men from getting to suicidal thoughts, to literally killing themselves because of porn addiction. These are my type of videos, and if that interests you, make sure you subscribe. You are running outside because you're late to work, and you meet up this one girl that you find really attractive. She's exactly your type, exactly the color of hair, she has the eyes that you want, she seems like a really great person for you, and you would be a good match. But you're not having self-confidence right now. You're not feeling confident to approach her. So what do? You go straight past her and you continue running and you go at work. Yes, you were late to work, but you could have met your dream wife. What prevented you from talking to her? It's because you didn't have enough self-confidence, and the fact that you're fapping every day to porn prevents you from having that self-confidence, that wanting to meet new people and actually talk to them. Instead of talking to that girl, you stayed on your lane and you continued running. You never approached that girl, and in your life you never met that girl again. But what could have happened if that time, that specific moment in your life, you had talked to that girl and actually acknowledged her? Maybe you made her laugh, and now you could be together, right? So what's this opportunity that you went straight by? And that's because of your porn addiction. If you're interested of getting rid of that and finally getting free from that porn addiction, first link down in the description. On that, let's continue directly with the video about shame and guilt. So before discussing whatever you want to discuss about shame and guilt, you have to first understand what is the difference between shame and guilt. First of all, guilt is really like you doing something wrong to someone, and you feel guilt because of that. For example, you punch someone, you will feel guilt after. Normally, I wish that you feel guilt after punching someone because now he's maybe crying and now he's maybe feeling bad in his life and things like that, right? And why are you feeling guilt when you're fapping? I consider it as something like that, right? Your younger self tried and visualized his life as being something beautiful, right? You were rich, having all the women that you wanted. You were having this big house, this big car, your family, everything like that. And that was his dream, right? And it's your duty right now to still visualize it, but to work in order for you to achieve that dream that your younger self had. And right now what you're doing is delaying all of this because you keep on masturbating every day. You keep on going back to porn and back to porn and back to porn. And that's the guilt that you're feeling. It's because you're doing something wrong to someone. That someone is your younger self. When you were younger, you had these dreams, and now you're killing your dreams because of your porn addiction. You know that you won't be able to achieve all of that if you masturbate every day to porn and watch naked women on your cell phone. So that's a way that you're feeling guilt right now that I can prove to you, and you can fully understand it without me explaining about molecules inside of your head and everything, right? Now, shame in the other sense is when you're doing something wrong for yourself. There's something wrong with you as a person, and now you can see the difference, right? And why are you ashamed of yourself when you're doing porn? Do I really have to explain it? I will explain it because it's a video, but I'm sure you already understand. You're fapping to naked women online in incognito mode when everyone around you is asleep. No one can watch you. You close the door, you lock it, or you do this alone in your room at the same time when everyone is asleep. You close the little lock so that nobody can enter, right? Maybe you don't have the chance to have that, but you get my point. You wait to be alone because just doing the thing just once, you're already ashamed of yourself. So imagine doing it repetitively every day as an addiction. And interestingly enough, the first ever time that you tapped yourself to porn, what happened? You were already in this environment, already choosing to go and hide yourself so that no one can see. So before even doing the addiction and being in that addiction, you were already ashamed of yourself for doing it. You just didn't felt the emotion. The emotion wasn't there because it was your first time. So you weren't trying to quit this addiction. It wasn't even an addiction. You just tried it to see what's that, because everyone kept on talking about it. Maybe you saw an image. I don't know how you discovered porn, but the first time was the start of your addiction. And now you're addicted, you're trying to quit, and you can't. And that's why you're feeling this shame. You're ashamed of yourself. You know that this is not how you're going to make your mom proud of you, right? Your parents aren't going to be proud of you if you tell them I masturbate every day to porn and I can't get out. They're not going to be proud of you, but they're going to help you in this journey to quit so they can be proud of you. And they're going to be proud of you because you finally quit this addiction. But inside of you, you know that it's a wrong thing to do. You know that it's not right to go and fap to porn every day. And that's where the shame's coming from. Now, having these feelings can really hinder your recovery. For example, guilt can lead to a cycle of negative behavior. When you have a lot of guilt in your life, normally this makes you overthink everything and you always think about it. And you think that you're not worth it. You start to say these insults to yourself because of guilt. Guilt creates these type of changes inside of you and inside of your mental. And for its case, shame can make you feel unworthy of recovery. When someone, as me for example, is trying to promote things so that I can help you, you may think of it as, oh, I'm not worthy of it. I don't deserve it. Because look, I've been masturbating for like 10 years. And because of that, you feel like it's either I will do it by myself or I won't ever go out of it. And that's different for every people, right? And the shame that you feel is so high, so important, that it can also prevent you from seeking help and fully engage in your recovery. Seeking help from professionals such as maybe like me, I'm a good mentor, I could really help you make the difference. And maybe even support groups, sometimes therapists and psychologists maybe. You don't feel like you deserve the help that they're offering, so you're kind of isolating yourself from them and trying to only focus on your recovery by yourself, and that makes it way easier because you're not open to support from other people. And as I said in almost all of my videos, when you get support from someone, it's like you're both trying to lift you up. When you're alone against your brain, and it's way harder. I have a lot of coping mechanisms, but this is not really a video about the coping mechanism, so I will give the one that I usually recommend for shame and guilt. First of all, before trying to change anything about these two emotions, you have to first acknowledge it. You have to acknowledge them and say, yes, I am having these. And this can seem dumb for you because maybe you already did and you already know that you have these, and so you can already go to the next step. But there's a lot of people that don't even acknowledge it. They have it, and it's been like maybe years and years, maybe 20 years that they're feeling the shame and guilt of fapping to porn every day. But they don't even assume it, right? They keep it to yourself and they push it so far away that they think they don't even have it. So first of all, you have to acknowledge the fact that yes, you're ashamed of yourself, you feel shame, and you have the guilt. When you acknowledge it, then the next step can come. A good way to deal with all the stress and the thoughts that keeps on coming because of your shame and your guilt is to journal. Putting your thoughts on words, prevents you from thinking about it over and over again, because now your brain knows that it's been put on a paper, and now you don't need to keep on remembering it. The point of your brain remembering stuff is because he knows that if you don't remember it, you won't remember it, right? That's like makes logic, right? So if you write it on a paper, your brain knows that it's now stored in a good place, and whenever you're going to read this paper again, you will remember what he's trying to remember. So right now, the fact that your brain keeps on telling you the shame and guilt and keeps on remembering you it is like him writing on the paper what he wants you to not forget. So by you actively writing on the paper makes him not needing the fact to write it on your mind, and so you will just forget about it. I tried to explain it like in a 5 years old way so everyone can understand, but that's really like the process. If I could explain it to a 5 years old, that's the way that I would do it. Also, to talk about it, open yourself to friends, family, and even professional and supporters and everything. Opening yourself with someone that do active listening, really listen to you, not on their cell phone and oh yeah, all right, hey, wow, and continue on his cell phone. That's not active listening, right? That's just someone that really don't care about your situation, and you're never going to have this feeling of being understood by them. You have to search for someone that really listen to you. He's really interested, and he's actually even sometimes giving you advice and trying to really help you on your recovery, right? Finding this type of people is hard, but once you find at least one, like that makes a big difference. Now every time you're going to talk with them, you're going to feel really understood, and that's a good emotion to have. That makes you feel like someone who is important and who deserve actually to recover. And that's the difference. Before, at the start of the video, I was talking about you not even feeling like you deserve to recover, but by talking with someone who actually listen to you and even sometimes give you advice and everything, now you're going to feel like you can recover and you have to recover. You deserve it, and you actually are someone important in life. You're not worthy of anything, right? You are important, and now you have the support of someone. So these self-compassion things really makes the difference, but you have to apply them. You see, I just told you a lot of coping mechanism to help you in your journey, but if you don't apply a single one of them, then it's just words that you heard, and there's no change that is going to happen in your journey. It's cool for me to say them because I made the research and everything, but if you don't apply at least one of them and try it out on your end and see if it really works, then you watch this video for nothing, right? You have to actually at least apply one of them and try for yourself and see, does it make the difference? Did Wesley mention something great that could really help me right now? Or maybe I need more help from him to actually recover, right? You have to learn something from the video and actually make an action step at the end of the video. And that's why right now I want to focus on the action step. Actually apply one of them. You can at least acknowledge, right? You have to at least acknowledge the fact that right now you have shame and guilt. There's not a single person that faps to porn and doesn't have either shame or guilt or the both. Like a lot of times they have both, but at least one of them, right? Everyone has at least one of the two. And I've seen countless of people, you can imagine that, right? And on these countless of people, at the end they all admit that they had at least one of them. That tells you how much like people have actually that. So make the acknowledgement, and after you made this acknowledgement, please choose a coping mechanism and actually try it for real. Like not just 2 days and oh I give up. No. At least like for a good month or two. I say to you, if you put the effort, you will get free. You have to put this effort in. That's what I wanted to hear when I was younger and trying to escape this porn addiction. But now that I'm free, I can just say to you, actually do it. Do it. You will get free. To quit all of these emotions, the shame and the guilt, you have to actually forgive people and forgive yourself. The forgiveness doesn't mean to excuse your past behavior, but it's about acknowledging mistakes, the fact that you are not perfect and you did mistakes in your life and you did mistakes in your recovery. You did mistakes by going to porn, for example, and committing to do better. You acknowledge the fact that yes, it was an error of my part, it was a mistake, but when you acknowledge it and you promise yourself to actually do better, that's when you grow, and by growing, you get free. So ask forgiveness from others if you impacted others, and ask forgiveness for yourself also, because you shot yourself in the foot when you started this addiction. But the fact that you're now in this path to trying to recover from this addiction, this makes the difference. Finally, your focus right now should be on growth. Recovery is a journey, and each step forward is a victory. And having this mindset, this goal of growth, finally getting out of this addiction, is like you in a forest trying to get out, right? There's two people in the same forest, and one is trying to get out of the forest. It's his goal in his mind. He thought about it, and getting out of the forest is the goal. And the other one isn't just having this goal, he doesn't have goal. Like, he's just in the forest, and he have like 3 to 4 goals in the forest. He wants to at least see one animal. He wants to at least touch one tree. He wants to find a cave, and he wants to get out. He have these 4 goals, and the other person, the second person, have only one goal. He wants to get out of the forest. Who's going to actually get out of the forest? Like, think about it. I don't need to tell you, right? The guy that just have one goal. He doesn't have to focus on 3 other goals at the same time. His mind is only focused to getting out of the forest. And the forest can be represented by your porn addiction. If you have one guy whose only focus is to get out of porn addiction, and you have this other guy that wants to get out of porn addiction but also wants to succeed in life, and you have all these other goals, the 3rd goal and 4th goal, his mind is dispersed. He doesn't have one single goal, so it's way easier to focus when you have one single goal, right? So the second person that wanted to just get out of the forest, he will see signs. Oh yeah, okay, this leads to outside. Oh, I see lights there. Oh, okay, the stars there. Okay, I will guide myself, and he get out of the forest. The second one, he wanted to what? He wanted to see animals. He wanted to maybe touch one. He wanted to touch a tree. He wanted to find a cave. So what is happening right now? He finds a cave, and what happens? He needs to explore it, right? Because he doesn't have this goal to get out of the forest. It's one of his many goals. He goes in the cave and drops in the cave and dies there. He never went out of the forest. He died there because he didn't have this goal in his mind. His goal, there were too many to accomplish at the same time. And that's the story. But another part of the story could be that because he had so many goals, he couldn't make right decision. There was right and left. Right, getting out of the forest. Left, getting to a cave. The man that wants to actually get out of the forest, he chooses right directly and up, he's out of the forest. But the guy that didn't saw the cave, his goal wasn't achieved. So he has right and left. Now he has to actually think about it and make a choice. Do I want to go into the cave, or do I want to get out of the forest? And you can imagine him really trying to think about it and being like, do I want to get out, or do I want to go to the cave? And actually choosing to go to the cave, because now he already knows how to get out of the forest. So he will choose the cave instead of choosing the path that leads directly to out of the forest, because he wanted to actually also visit a cave. That was one of his goals. And now you go back to the initial ending that I said. He goes in the cave and died there. So everything he did now goes to nothing because he's dead. And the second person that I just mentioned, he's out of the forest because he made the right choice. He set himself a clear goal, getting out of the forest. And every time he had a decision to make, is that getting me out of the forest? No, then I don't take it. Is that getting me out of the forest? Yes, straight. The same applies to porn addiction. Make yourself a goal and stick to that goal. Get free because of it. On that, take care of yourself. Bye.